Hi friends, this reflection is for Tuesday, November 17th, and this is the memorial of St. Elizabeth of Hungary. Today's gospel reading is one with a great character and a great visual image. It's the story of Zacchaeus. You remember him, the tax collector who wanted to see Jesus. You can just picture him in his head. Zacchaeus is a despised tax collector, probably because he was cheating people. And he hears that Jesus is coming and he wants to see who this Jesus is and catch a glimpse of him. But there's a crowd and he can't see because he's not a very tall person, so he climbs a sycamore tree. So you can imagine him sitting in the tree waiting for Jesus to come by. Now maybe he did climb that tree because he was short and he wanted a better view, or maybe he climbed the tree to avoid the crowd who knew that he was cheating and it was a way to hide and not be seen by those around him. But Jesus sees him, and he calls him by name. That doesn't happen very often in the Gospels. Zacchaeus clambers down and he welcomes Jesus with joy, but the crowd doesn't approve. They're murmuring and complaining. Why would Jesus want to dine with a sinner, especially one of these, the chief of sinners? Interestingly, Jesus doesn't wait to be invited, and he doesn't wait for Zacchaeus to say he's sorry or to make restitution. Instead, he makes the first move. It's Jesus who says, "I'm coming to your house." The gospel writer Luke tells us that everyone was grumbling at this point, but Jesus has a different image. So the story began with this image of Zacchaeus looking for Jesus, but it ends by saying that Jesus was looking for Zacchaeus. It's God who's looking for us all along. The encounter is important because Jesus isn't asking Zacchaeus to quit his profession or to give away anything more than he's already promised. Instead, he meets Zacchaeus where he's at. He's out on a limb. He meets him out there and he allows for this relationship to develop. And it's a relationship that reshapes how Zacchaeus probably lived the rest of his life. I do wonder about the rest of Zacchaeus' family. How about Mrs. Zacchaeus when they showed up back at his house ready for a meal? Wonder if their lives were changed too. What happens when we go out on a limb and open our hearts to make a place for Jesus? Today is the memorial of St. Elizabeth of Hungary, and she's someone who also did something that was unexpected. She went out on a limb and she met Jesus. She was born into royalty in Hungary, and she was known for her charitable activities, including establishing hospitals and caring for the sick. She lived simply, not only for the poor, but among the poor. She was known for delivering bread to the poor and for those in need, and she worked in the hospitals that she herself established. She was actually in a very loving marriage that her family had arranged, but it turned out to be a very loving and wonderful relationship. And her husband completely supported her charitable actions, and he was actually very, very generous himself. But he died at a very young age of the plague, and she was banished from the family because of her, they were considered too excessive, her charitable activities. So she was banished, but she continued her life of prayer and service to the poor. She did something that was so unexpected. She could have lived a totally comfortable royal life, but she didn't. And she met Jesus through her generosity and through her love of others. And she probably brought her husband along too. He was also beloved for his generosity. When we go out on this limb and encounter Jesus, how can we do it in our own lives? And what will it look like? Maybe it's forgetting a grudge, or forgiving someone who we've held on to that for a little bit too long. Maybe it's committing to a new prayer ritual, or maybe it's finding a way to serve others in need around us. I believe the truth is that when we seek to find Jesus, he's there waiting for us. He's been waiting all along. Today, I pray for the health and safety of everyone, and I thank you for your prayers too. And until I see you again, I wish you peace.